Hi friends, today we're going to be learning how to do your first bar muscle up or just how to get more efficient with your bar muscle ups. So the biggest thing that we're going to be looking at today is making sure that you understand that you don't want to be pulling yourself to the bar and then trying to wriggle on top, but you actually want to be pressing away from the bar. So if you can create space between your body and the bar, it gives you a chance to go over the bar. Whereas if you're trying to go through the bar, obviously the bar is solid, so you can't go through it. So that's kind of the key thing to think about through the whole tips and tricks, is making sure that you're always thinking about going around the bar rather than through the bar. So our first thing is going to be with a box. So all you'll need is the box and your pull-up bar. So I like to start pretty high up on the bar, so I'm kind of at like face height. And then what I want to think about is having my knuckles on top of the bar, so I'm almost in this false grip position. If you're hanging from your fingertips, it just makes it a whole lot harder to press into the bar. But if you get your knuckles on top, it's just going to be easier to push down and use your lats to get you on top. From here, the first thing we can practice is just leaning back. And then, oh, one thing, make sure you wrap your thumb. Always wrap your thumb, especially when you're learning. Once you get good, if you want to go thumb on top, fair enough, but always learn with your thumb wrapped just for safety reasons. So leaning back, and then with your feet on the box, you're going to come through into an arch and then press away to a hollow. Through in an arch, press away in a hollow. Through in an arch, press away in a hollow. So being able to find those shapes on the pull-up bar, all that's going to do is make sure that once you're off the pull-up bar, once you're off the box and you're on the pull-up bar, that you can find your arch and then go into your hollow body. So if you notice in that hollow body, I'm keeping my arms straight the whole time. To build off of that, we're just going to add a small jump. So I'm going to lower my box just because I'm a bit high up. But what you want to do is come through the same way in an arch to a hollow, and then a small jump where you're pressing down. So arch, hollow, press. And so what you want to make sure you're doing is that you're pressing with a straight arm. So you don't want to be bent elbows, and you don't want to be trying to get your chest to the bar. You want to keep as much distance away from the bar as possible. Our third step is going to be doing that movement and jumping on top. Same thing applies. You want to press yourself back and give yourself space to turn over. So you can start with whatever box height you were using, or if you want to go slightly higher for the jump, you may. But it's the same thing. It's an arch to a hollow, press down, and then turn over. So a sticking point tends to be getting over the bar. And the thing I like to think about is straight arms until I can see the pull-up bar. And then what I do is I try and think about if I have a hood on, like throwing my hood on. So you're looking down. When you look down, your upper body is going to naturally kind of fold. And that way you can kind of catch yourself on top of the pull-up bar. So those are our first three steps. 2 feet on the box. The first one's just the arch to the hollow. The second is an arch hollow with a press down. And then the third one is the arch, hollow, press down, and turn over. You can build up in sets of maybe start off with 5s and build up to 10s doing those, and you will probably get out of breath, especially if you haven't done a bar muscle up yet. It is definitely going to be challenging. So don't be afraid to start a bit easier than you think you should. For the next progression, we're going to do the exact same 3 movements, but this time we're going to have 1 foot on the box and 1 foot off the box. So it's going to look very similar, but you'll have your foot hanging off the box. And so we'll start in that hollow. You'll come through to an arch and press back to a hollow. Arch, hollow. So that is step 1. Obviously you can move your box, or if you have your box in the middle, switch legs so you're doing it evenly on both legs. Our second one is the small jump and press down. So same idea, arch, hollow, press, arch, hollow, press. And so now we're just learning that press down, trying to engage your lats and creating space between yourself and the pull-up bar. And the third one's going to be the jump over. Make sure you're careful not to hit your head on the pull-up bar. So what you want to do is arch hollow, press down, and then turn over. So once again, similar idea, but now you just have that leg extended, so you get more of that sweep through motion, and you can feel that your hips are doing a bit more of the popping, so you're not getting as much of a jump out of your legs. If you need to make it easier, you would just make your box higher. You can put a plate on top of your box, and if you wanted to make it more challenging, you can just go to lower boxes. Once you are comfortable doing those movements off a box, you can take the box away and we'll do them from the floor. So the first thing, or the first trick, is when you're doing a bar muscle up, you don't want to be standing directly underneath the pull-up bar, but you actually want to be about one step behind. That way when you jump into your hollow body, it lets you cast yourself a little bit further out into your arch, which then lets you press yourself away further, so you're still creating that gap between your body and the pull-up bar. So you can practice that by just taking one step back, and then jumping in hollow, arch, hollow. So that's like our kip swing. We can do a few singles like that, and then we'll build into that press down. So step back, hollow, arch, hollow, press down. So once you've practiced the press down, you feel like you're able to see the pull-up bar, then you can basically think about just putting your hood on and pressing on top. So what that looks like is step back, and you have your bar muscle up. A quick tip that might help you is to think about bringing your knees up. So rather than staying really hollow, if you bring your knees up a little bit, that's going to allow you to then kick down, which will help you squeeze your butt to get you on top of the pull-up bar. So what it looks like is the same thing. We're just going to try and drive our knees up a little bit. So gets you on top still, but you're just using that knee bend to give you a chance to open your hips. If you want to get a bit of practice and strengthen your lats, a great way to do it is to take a thin band, you'll loop it over the pull-up bar, and then just pull through so it's attached to the top. You can put a PVC pipe through the band, and then I like to go with an open hand so my arm stays straight. And then you can step back a little bit. We'll pull your shoulders back and down, and then bring the PVC pipe straight to your hips. So we don't want your shoulders up, and you don't want your elbows bent like this, but the shoulders down, arms straight. And for that, we're looking to hit about 20 to 30 reps. The very last thing, let's talk quick safety. Try to avoid doing a chicken wing where you go one arm and then the other. That's usually either a lack of patience where you're not pressing yourself back far enough, or it's a lack of strength where you're just not strong enough to push down. So either way, make sure that you're practicing the drills of the push down on the box, push down with one foot on a box, jumping from a box. All of those options are going to help you build up some lat strength and teach you patience before you get on top of the bar, because the last thing you want to do is get stuck in a compromised position. It's really easy to hurt your shoulder, you can hurt your wrist, and there's just no point in putting yourself 6 to 8 weeks back for one attempt of a muscle up. So make sure that you're doing everything smartly and you're building in small increments rather than just going for it right out the get-go. If you have any questions, if you have any comments, make sure you put them down below. Be happy to help you, and best of luck with your muscle ups.